Okay, we just got through covering marketing, so I hope you paid attention and understand what a qualified lead is, because now we're going to sell to that qualified lead. So if you haven't watched the marketing part five, please do so. Then come back. You'll be better prepared for this sales discussion. So let me emphasize that what we're really going to be talking most about is B2B sales, business to business. Not that B2C, online e-commerce, online sales is not important. It's that e-commerce is mainly a marketing challenge and the creating the awareness and bringing people to a site where the sale actually occurs. The sales process is done a very different way in B2C in that the person buys online and has had all of their questions answered by online materials, online videos in particular, a convincing story about how the product is going to be supported, and a convincing story about its features and capabilities. All of that occurs in answering a person's questions about whether or not to buy whatever it is that you're selling. But when they do, it's put it in the cart and buy it with a credit card. That's how it goes. So let's move forward here and talk about business to business selling, which is a more classical sales process. So let's get going here. First of all, now that you've looked at the marketing video and I've taught you about what a qualified lead is, I'm assuming that you're working with a qualified lead. So a marketing person, perhaps in your company, or perhaps even the salesperson, has done the very first step of all of this, and that is qualified the potential customer as a qualified lead. And that is, they have the need, it's urgent, they're in pain, they want a solution now, they have a budget and they can pay for it. All of that's kind of there already. Now we're going to talk about, okay, now you got the customer to that point. What do we do next in sales, no matter where the sales lead came from? My point is that the sales process starts once the potential customer is qualified. So let's move on. So selling is a process. It's a step-by-step, reasonably well understood and pretty classical. If you've been through sales training, you'll recognize what I'm about to tell you. So think of it as a process, and a process you ought to stick to, quite frankly, and have one of your own, and have the flexibility to change your process and change your content based upon the situation that you're dealing with. The underlying way you're going about this is pretty much the same. Let's move into the process. So I'm not assuming that the marketing moment led right into a sales moment. There may be a period of time after the qualification occurred and when the sales meeting starts. So you're re-engaging. When you're re-engaging, you're not assuming that they remember much of what you've already told them. At the onset of a sales meeting, you've got to have a period of time to reestablish the relationship, if you will, have some light talk, learn a few things about this potential customer that you can start conversations about, whether it's sports, whether it's their hobbies, whether it's something you learned about them on LinkedIn. Be prepared to have some chit chat to kind of warm up the room and start connecting as two individuals that are going to try to do some business together. So that's the start of the process, is re-engaging in a relationship that may have already started. But don't assume that they remember everything you told them. Start all over again. So here's what start all over again means. You're going to show that you understand at the beginning of this sales meeting, you understand their needs as you had heard them previously, and perhaps you have learned more about since you last met. So it helps you establish some credibility, or reestablish credibility, in that you're coming in there with a pretty good level of understanding of what their issues are, what their pain points are, the need that they have, in other words, that you're going to try to fulfill. But you're going to do this in a very special way. After you kind of reintroduced your understanding of their needs, you're going to ask very open-ended questions and get them talking about their needs. You're going to ask, like, how important is this? Tell me more about this issue and what its impact is on your company. Tell me what you're looking for in terms of a solution. The questions that open it up, they're not yes or no questions. You want them to talk more so you can gain even further understanding that they have the need that you can fulfill. And you want to get a wider and more in-depth understanding of it. So you get them to talk. Quite frankly, be prepared with some questions that you're going to ask them before you even show up. You don't want a big moment of silence after you've blurted out all of what you know about their needs. You want to get them talking. So the secret of the game here at the onset of this meeting is ask questions and shut up and listen and listen and listen. Let the listening lead to further questions. Show that you're engaged. What you're really doing is really getting a blow by blow of what the problems are that they're faced with, how they've probably tried to solve them in the past, how are they getting around them now. You're trying to get a sense of urgency that you think that they have, that you fully understand what the impact has been to them, and that there's good reason for you to believe that the solution that you're about to talk to them about is going to meet their needs. This is your moment during your listening that you mentally create some cues for you to bring up when you're going to talk about what you're going to try to provide for them, so that what you're going to propose to them is going to really resonate. This is your chance to kind of hone your pitch at the last moment here and be able to respond to some things you've heard in the last several minutes or so. So then, once you've listened, and you kind of got it, there's a break into let me talk to you now about how we can help you with these issues that you're having. Here's our solution. And you go through a blow by blow of what you can offer them in software, in hardware, in services, whatever it is that you're selling. You're going to paint a picture of a solution that you would propose to them that they deploy and engage in answering their questions about it. So that this is kind of the heart of the meeting, and that you're telling them how you're going to relieve their pain and a lot about what the capabilities are, and therefore gain increasing interest in what you could possibly offer them. You answer their questions, and you go through this within the time limits that they're allowing you, but you're saying the things that are most important with respect to their needs and how you're going to solve them. Once you feel that you've got that across, and you sense that they're bona fidely interested. So once you've heard enough and you've kind of got it, and you sense that they're very interested in what you have to offer, and that you're kind of convinced that you really can pull this off, you simply suggest that you would like to come back to them with a formal proposal on a solution from your company dealing with these issues. And you give them a time frame in which you'll prepare it, hopefully in days, not a week, days, so you'll look responsive, which will include features and capabilities and an implementation time frame if that's required, and the support you'll be providing them, and of course appropriate pricing. And you get acknowledgement that they would like to see that. I'd like to send you a proposal by Friday. And they say, I look forward to that. Yes, we're interested. You want to hear something like that. So you go away from this meeting and get your proposal together and get it to them by Friday. Once they receive it, have the weekend to work on it, but end of the following week. You're hoping that you'll hear back from them, of course, but if you don't within a week, but you probably said in your proposal, I'd like to follow up with you next Friday. Give them a week to work on this and discuss what you think about our proposal and see if we can move forward or something like that. Well, next Friday comes along and they say, look, we're not quite ready yet, but let's meet on Tuesday and we'll be ready then. And you say, well, fine, we'll do that. The next meeting comes along on Tuesday and you're back to face-to-face or over Zoom if we're still in lockdown here. And they're going to have questions, and you're going to answer them. They're going to have issues with certain things, and you're going to respond to them. They're going to talk about their interest in pricing. They want to talk about payment terms. They want to talk about intellectual property protection, and the list will go on. This is a process of negotiation and resolution of issues, the answering of questions, all moving towards, and this could take several days, maybe even a few weeks, but all moving towards the ultimate question. Okay, we've negotiated, we've satisfied all of your questions. Are you ready to move forward? A negotiation moves towards something that I call closure. That means you close the deal. The proposal gets signed by them, and you've already signed it because you put it together in the first place. So you've reached closure. That's what this is all about. You got a sale. You're going to get paid. Wow. But now the fun starts. Now you got to implement what you said you were going to do for them. But you will do that because that's what you told them you'll do. So this whole process, this long-winded process, all is trying to reach this point where you've closed the deal and you've closed a sale. That's what B2B sales is all about. Pretty classical, but some of the secrets to all of this is you're listen. You're looking for concurrence to what you're able to do for them and concurrence in your understanding of the issues that they have. Once you've established that at the very beginning, things move forward in that context and you kind of stay within it all the way through the process of answering their questions, dealing with their objections, negotiating all the terms of the deal that you're trying to put together. There's a lot of time involved in this, and it's all moving towards closure. And as you do that, have a great day.